Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome DeCesaris.
Good morning. Good morning. First and foremost, congratulations. You made it. And I don't say this lightly because I remember my last few months of senior year, I wasn't sure if I was going to make it. I was kind of on the border there. I wasn't the best academic student, I'll be the first to admit that. But I had an incredible experience here at St. Mary's and I made a lot of wonderful friends. I actually made one friend in particular who this summer we did an adventure across Spain together. And so today I want to tell you a little bit about that. But first I want to explain to you, obviously Kevin told you a little bit about me. I am a lawyer by trade, but my passion is in giving back and doing charity work. 13 years ago, I have a young niece who was born with a very rare disease called Sturge-Weber Syndrome. And for me and my family, this was a life-changing experience. We had never been touched with adversity like this, and we were faced with an illness that little was known. The doctors really had no idea how to treat this disorder, and up until that point, little research had been done. So my sister, who was also a graduate of St. Mary's, who is Jenna's mother, decided that we were going to do something to fight back and to help the cause. So she rallied our family, and we started very quickly getting a team together to raise money and raise awareness for this illness. And over the last 12, 13 years, we've raised over $1 million for the Kennedy Krieger Institute in Baltimore. And in 2013, they identified the gene that causes my niece's illness. And so now, knowing what causes it, they're moving towards directed therapies and treatments for these children, and there's hope for one day even a cure. So it's really an amazing discovery, an amazing time for my niece. And so when they made this discovery, I thought, wow, there's more I want to do. There's more that I can be doing to help. So I decided to create some events that I thought would be fun and exciting, things that I liked to do, and I thought would be a great way to raise awareness and to raise funds. So in 2013, I bought a bicycle and I rode across the country on a solo bike ride from California to Ocean City, Maryland. The following year, I ran from the state of Maine down to Key Largo, Florida, close to 2,000 miles, did that over 3 months. And this past summer, with my friend Mary, who also graduated from St. Mary's, we hiked across Spain. Now, I've done these things because they were, for me, fun and exciting. I enjoy these kinds of things, and I use them as a tool to raise awareness and funds for my niece's illness. Specifically, I want to tell you a little bit about this adventure across Spain, because it was by far the most incredible thing I've ever done. So the Camino de Santiago, if you're not familiar with it, it's a religious pilgrim route that dates back to medieval times. And Santiago literally means St. James in Spanish. So Camino de Santiago is the way of St. James. And as legend has it, the Apostle James, when he went to preach the gospel in Spain, because that's where he was sent, he died and was buried in a church in Spain, in the city of Santiago. So in the northwest of Spain, in this church, there's a shrine to the Apostle St. James. So since medieval times, people have been making religious pilgrimage across Spain to the shrine to pray before the remains of the saint. Now, the Camino de Santiago is actually a network of roads that all lead to this town in the northwest of Spain. As they say, all roads lead to Rome. Well, in Spain, all roads lead to Santiago. And my friend Mary and I, we chose the Camino Frances, which is one of the particular routes that make up the Camino de Santiago. This route runs from the border of France across the entire northern part of Spain, roughly about 500 miles. And we took on this adventure, and it took us 31 days, and we covered 555 miles. I guess we made a few wrong turns, because we went a few miles more than most people. So a couple little things that I want to share from my experience that I think you would appreciate. To get across the entire country, you're relying on man-made signs and markers to get you from point A to point B. So a lot of the route is through rural areas, farmland, the woods, a lot of woodland, mountain areas. So as you're walking and at times hiking, you're relying on markers that people left. And the markers are more often than not a shell. The shell represents St. James. So we would follow the shell markers and the arrows that were displayed throughout. There's a lot of yellow arrows that people would just spray paint on buildings, or they would carve into rock. So we would be walking through the woods and we'd be wondering if we were going the right way because, GPS isn't going to help you out when you're in rural Spain. And we're relying on these shells and these arrows to get us through little towns and villages and through the countryside. And I liken these shells and these markers to the values I learned here at St. Mary's. These are the guideposts. These are what helped Mary and I get from point A to point B. This is what helped us get across an entire country. And these values I learned at St. Mary's are the things that have helped me get through life. So remember the values you learned at St. Mary's, these strong Catholic values, and they will help and guide you. And there's also another interesting thing on the Camino. There's a lot of areas where there aren't markers displayed. So what people will do is they'll get sticks in the woods, and sometimes they'll make man-made markers, just make an arrow out of sticks, or you'll just grab some rocks. If you get to a place in the woods where the road diverges, sometimes we would gather some rocks and create an arrow for the next person who would be coming so they would know which way to go. And I liken these man-made markers to our faith. And my faith has helped me throughout life. So rely on your faith and the values you've learned here at St. Mary's to help you on the road through life. I'd also like to say we had a really interesting experience. One day we thought, speaking about markers and direction, we thought we were turned around. Mary and I are looking at each other and we're bickering about did we make the wrong turn? No, you said to go this way. No, it was your fault. And we're definitely thinking we're going the wrong way as we see two people walking towards us. So two people come walking towards us with their backpacks on, their walking sticks. I'm like, we're definitely going the wrong way. So I'm thinking, we're going to have to double back a few miles. And that's the last thing you want to do when you're walking across an entire country is have to backtrack. So as there were two French people, as they come towards us, I asked them, I said, we're going the wrong way, right? And the Frenchman looked at me, and he said this very matter-of-factly. I wasn't sure if he was trying to be funny, but I couldn't help but laugh. He said, on the Camino, there is no wrong way. So it was very profound, but also a little cheesy of him to say it like that. And I'm like, no, seriously, are we going the wrong way? Because we need to get to this next town. And he said, no, you're going the right way if you're going to Santiago. My wife and I have already been. We're heading back to our home in France. So these people had hiked from France, like interior France, across their country, across Spain, had already made it to Santiago, and were now walking home. So it was mind-boggling to me, because I'm already thinking we're doing this incredibly adventurous thing, doing our 500-plus miles. These people were probably logging close to 1,000. So it was really incredible, and it just resonated with me, and it made me think, in life there really is no wrong way. We all are different. We all have different looks. We have different thoughts. We have different ideas. And you know what? That's a great thing. And that's to be celebrated. We were all made in God's image, and He doesn't make mistakes. You are who you are for a reason. Celebrate who you are, love who you are, and appreciate your God-given gifts, talents, and abilities. And I can't say it enough. As you embark now, you're stepping forward out of high school. For many of you, you're going to college. And there's no one set way to do things. Do things your way. Be proud of who you are and live the life that you choose. The other interesting thing on the Camino is when you see somebody in passing, or if you're walking with somebody, everybody would say Buen Camino, which is essentially good journey. And at first I thought it was kind of annoying because we would meet people and everybody said it, Buen Camino, Buen Camino. And people would say to us, that's the greeting. That's what you're supposed to say when you see somebody. It's what you're supposed to say when you part ways. And Mary and I quickly learned that it wasn't something that was just said nonchalantly without meaning. It was a very profound and a meaningful statement to wish somebody well on the Camino. And what I learned is that even though my friend Mary and I were having this joint experience together, we were with each other every day for 31 days, sharing this experience together, we were also having our own unique experiences on the Camino. She was there for her own reasons, and I was there for my own. And really, of all the people we met from all of the countries in the world, and we met people from all over the place. People come from all over the world, and everybody's there for their own reasons. Some are there for spiritual reasons, some are there to do a Catholic pilgrimage. A lot of people are just there for adventure and for fitness and just for fun. So everybody had their own reasons, but we were all sharing this experience together. Each and every one of us here is on our own journey in life. Yet we're having a joint experience together. You, as a graduating class, have shared this experience together at St. Mary's. And when Camino essentially is wishing and telling somebody that you care, respect, and love them, and you wish them well in their journey. So, as I said before, be proud of who you are, celebrate who you are, but also love one another, support one another, and help one another as we all embark in the journey in life. And the last thing I want to leave you with is, this was really profound. When I arrived in Santiago, I got to spend the day with a young boy named Dario. Dario is 8 years old. He is from the northwest of Spain. He has Sturge-Weber Syndrome, like my niece. And he and his mother came and met me and Mary. And I got to spend the day with Dario and had the most incredible experience. And it really, for me, was... it's hard to even put into words. Arriving in Santiago was very special. That was the goal. But for me, getting to spend the day with Dario, who was one of the children I was hiking in honor of, is what made it all worthwhile. So I say to you, it's not always about the destination. It's about the journey. And for me, the journey was in honor of these children, like my niece, who have Sturge-Weber Syndrome. And it's about the relationships we build and the times we spend with each other. So although the destination, for me, Santiago was amazing. For you, it's college, and then it'll be your college graduation. Appreciate each step of the journey. Revel in your time, enjoy your experiences together, and really appreciate each and every day. Thank you, and I wish you all the very best of luck.